Every season of Cobra Kai so far has ended with a cliffhanger, making viewers jump with anticipation. Launching in 2021, Season 4 was no different. Luckily, we didn't have to wait much before getting our eyes back on the Cobra Kai universe. With Season 5 dropping well under a year, we look forward to many things this season. First up, how do the actors see this rivalry turned friendship between their characters? Talking to Still Watching Netflix, both Ralph Macchio and William Zabka reflected on their relationship in the series, how what started as more than just a rivalry has developed into a friendship, especially considering that Season 5 started with both characters once again in a tussle. William and Zabka both agree that they were moved especially by the one scene where Johnny backs Daniel after his loss to Terry. Not just Johnny, but Chozen. Oh wait, we forgot to tell you guys that Daniel's other rival, Chozen, also made a re-entry into the show. Anyway, moving on to the scene, Macchio explains that when he saw Johnny Lawrence and Chozen standing there, giving out a message that, "We're here to back you," he got very emotional. "Don't mess with Milo Russo, man," exclaimed Zabka. "That's something, isn't it?" We'll be honest, nobody liked Johnny back in the 80s, but the exact opposite is true today. We mean, just look at this man and his character development. Moving on to, speaking of characters. So what's so special about the characters? Well, for one, the characters are unchanged. Yes, Daniel Russo and Johnny Lawrence, among others, are still here, but the real news lies in the fact the cast is the same as well. How amazing is that? Young stars William Zabka and Ralph Macchio reprised their roles as their respective characters, only 34 years later. Not only that, but other notable names such as Martin Kove and Thomas Ian Griffith, both of who played the roles of antagonists in the movies, have returned as their respective characters in the later seasons of the show. As much as we despise the two for what they did to Daniel, we'll have to give it to them for returning to the show. 34 years is a huge gap. Unfortunately though, Mr. Miyagi, who's Daniel's sensei and more like a father to him, passed on way before the series was concocted. We'll miss you, Father Teach, but your balance shall stay guarded. Rest in peace. Next up, balance? What balance? Back in the day, when Mr. Miyagi taught Daniel the Miyagi-Do form of karate, one of the major aspects of it was attaining balance in life, not just karate. We did see this role play out in his fights along his journey, but the real display of balance was shown by Daniel when he came face to face with Johnny's Cobra Kai dojo. He not only started his own Miyagi-Do school of karate, but it was a counter to Johnny's attempt at teaching karate. But wait for this, it gets even more fun. As we learn that they decided to team up against John Kreese, neither is ready to leave their form of teaching for the other ones. Now, we may think that Johnny is wrong to teach his aggressive style of karate, but ironically, the balance that Mr. Miyagi taught Daniel could only be achieved through managing both acts together. This is a superb display of a concept that has existed for years, but as the two former rivals get closer and closer, their display of strength between two opposites further strengthens Mr. Miyagi's active balance. We love how this is reflected in what Zabka and Macchio have said about their bonds. Following up, how's the rivalry looking? As the series began, we saw a disgruntled Johnny going through a crisis as a middle-aged man. 34 years later, the man still had a grudge against Daniel for what he did to him in the karate tournament. Daniel, on the other hand, was a rich, relatively successful man, but also held a grudge against Johnny for how he treated him throughout their karate careers. Having lived in the same city their entire lives now, neither was ready to let go of the hate they had for the other, until a bigger enemy showed up. After that point, what started as a bitter rivalry at the beginning of the series started to take a weird turn. All thanks to the common enemy, John Kreese, who was Johnny's sensei, decided to return, but this time, both Daniel and Johnny were ready to try letting go of the past and play along. Now, don't get us wrong, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The alliance at the start was as fragile as something can be, but as seasons progressed, what started as a one-time alliance started to grow into a solid team. Not just that, but by the time Terry Silvers returned in Season 4, they were ready to take on any challenge, together with a team of teenagers under their guidance. Even in Season 5, when Daniel was broken by Terry, Johnny was there to support him like a true brother-in-arms. Let's learn a little more about the Brotherhood. We've seen how much the relationship between the two has changed over the years, so it's no wonder that the actors agree that it is a wonderful homage to the original series, The Karate Kid. Two ultimate rivals now backing up each other against a third person. Oh, we love to see it. Perfectly described by Zabka and Macchio's comments as a true brotherly relationship where they can have fights and disagree all they want, but will not tolerate a third person trying to harm either of them. Fans, on the other hand, have loved this lighthearted yet emotional bond between the two. Safe to say that whatever set them off against each other, again in Season 6 or beyond, at the end of the day, they'll have each other's back. We're emotional, very emotional. Now moving on to other news. To start with, someone could have been killed in Cobra Kai Season 5. As revealed by the producers, there had been plans of killing one of the main characters in the show. You wouldn't have to guess if you had seen the season season, but apparently it was chosen. However, they decided not to cross that line because they felt like they had yet earned the right to do so. Plus, they feel like killing off characters is not something they're willing to indulge in at the moment, mainly due to its potential repercussions later in the show. Whatever may be, what we get from this statement is that even though no one has been killed off yet, there's no denying that it's a possibility that it might happen in the future. Furthermore, there's a new Karate Kid movie on the way. Following the success of Cobra Kai, not even a week after its 5th season was released, Sony has announced that a new Karate Kid movie is well on its way. Not just that, but we've also been given a date to make sure we know this is serious. While no other information regarding cast, crew, or story have been revealed, Sony did however confirm that the new movie will be continuing the original franchise. The original Karate Kid movie came out in 1984, and following its success, an additional 3 continued the story of the Miyagi-verse. Each movie further strengthens the connection between Daniel LaRusso and his sensei, Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi was one of the main reasons why the series got so successful. Unfortunately, though, he couldn't return to reprise his role in Cobra Kai as the actor who played him. Pat Morita passed away in 2011. Cobra Kai was born on the success of the Karate Kid movies, and it's great to see that now because of Cobra Kai. We'll get to see another Karate Kid movie. Life does indeed come full circle. Finally, Cobra Kai creator Jon Hurwitz shows no association with the Karate Kid reboot. With each passing day, it's getting more and more difficult to follow through with all the reboots and spin-offs of movies and TV shows from the 80s. One such example is the Karate Kid movie that we just talked about. Although we're happy to see it happen, what confuses us is that Jon Hurwitz, the guy responsible for Cobra Kai's success, is not involved in this new Karate Kid project from Sony. Now, it makes sense that Sony might want to pick up from where the original Karate Kid series left off instead of continuing the Cobra Kai series, but not involving the guys who made Karate Kid relevant again makes no sense. We also sense some drama since Hurwitz himself has been quoted saying that he has no idea what the new movie is going to be about, except that it won't be focused on Cobra Kai characters. Despite all this, he still wished the project well. In other news, after messing with the MCU, Sony has now planned to destroy the Miyagi-verse. Haha, no, we're just kidding. Or are we? That's a wrap for this video. What was your favorite moment of Season 5? Do you think the foes-turned-friends duo will once again go head-to-head in Season 6 of Cobra Kai? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.